people aren't just rich, they're crazy rich.
Now, you really should have told me that you're like the Prince William of Asia.
That's ridiculous. Much more of a Harry.
Crazy rich Asians might be lapping up the laughs and the dollars at the box office, but there's one place where it's wide of the mark. While the film focuses on the rich families of Singapore, it's 2,500 kilometers away from where the real wealth exists in Asia. According to a report released this week by research firm WealthX, Hong Kong now boasts more ultra-rich people than anywhere else in the world. 10,000 residents of this city are now worth more than $30 million each. A staggering increase of 31% here has helped it overtake New York as the true home for the ultra-wealthy.
The main drivers over the last 5 years have been the fact that the Chinese economy has expanded, so wealth has moved south into Hong Kong from mainland China. As I just mentioned, there are a huge number of ultra-wealthy individuals who then become citizens of Hong Kong, move their wealth there and become resident in Hong Kong.
So where's their wealth coming from? Well, this year Hong Kong saw its stock market hit an all-time high. Ballooning prices for both corporate and residential real estate have also helped. All of this has cemented the city as the most unaffordable place in the world, according to a survey by the Mercer consulting firm.
It's one of the most mature cities in that region, certainly in terms of things like rule of law, certainly in terms of property and everything like that, but also in relation to things that matter to people when they live somewhere, such as fine dining, hotels, restaurants, things like that. And Hong Kong has those in abundance.
But according to WealthX, most of the $31 trillion held across the world by the 250,000 or so ultra-rich is in liquid assets like cash. Stocks and other investments make up less than a third of their fortunes, while fancier alternative assets like super yachts are about 6.6% of their spending. You won't find many of those on the streets of Hong Kong, of course, but at least here in places like Tsim Sha Tsui, there are enough high-end shops to keep those multi-millionaires spending their money. What's worrying, though, for many Hong Kongers who can't afford these types of places, is that income inequality here is at a record high. Roughly 20% of locals here live in poverty, according to the government. While property prices may have helped the ultra-rich, for those at the other end of the scale, paying for housing is a daily struggle.
It is so terrible that we find that many Hong Kong poor people or elderly people living in very small cubicles or in subdivided flats in Hong Kong. I think one of the most urgent things for the new government to do is to increase the public rental housing protection in Hong Kong so that the poor people can have decent living in Hong Kong.
But those Hong Kongers say they're not a priority for the government.
A lot of chats, I feel like they are helping more with the investors or the wealthy individuals more than the general public.
How are you able to survive? You have to work yourself to death. If you don't, you can't cover living costs. The situation in Hong Kong is terrible.
While Hong Kong might be the place to find the real crazy rich Asians, it's also where more people than ever are struggling to make ends meet. Joel Flynn, TRT World, Hong Kong.